All right, I'm going to show real quick how to go from your truss into Cura and kind of run through some of the basic settings to play with. So you're in Inventor. All right, you go File, Export, CAD Format. All right. Then you go down here to save as type, and you want to export it as an STL. Now, you want to check and make sure that your settings are right here. Most of you, you're probably all set, a lot of you, if you're on the same computer, but we've had a lot of shuffles. So the first time you export an STL file from the software, you got to check this. You go to Options over here, and then you've got to change the units to millimeter. You have to change to millimeter, and then as far as these go, I put it on high quality. There are situations where I don't want it on high quality, but something like this, it's fine to export it at high quality. You just hit OK. And then you save it. And save it somewhere where it's going to be easy to access. All right, I'm just saving it in the folder where I always save stuff. This will be version 6 of that I've exported. All right, version 6. And hit save. All right, so now once you've exported it, you check those options, make sure it's STL, make sure it's in millimeters. Now you got to bring up the print software. So we use Cura, Ultimaker Cura 4.4. All right, so I just go down to the Windows search bar and type in Cura. I find it. If you're a full remote student, you should probably install this software at home on your computer, Cura, because then it'll allow you to see how much it's going to weigh. And these numbers are pretty darn close, actually. They're really not that far off of reality in the end. Because it knows the volume of stuff it knows the volume of material it's gonna push out. All right, so when you first open up Cura, you're gonna see some pop-up windows, and just hit agree and next and next and next and next, and finally it'll want you to add a printer. All right, and when you go to add a printer, you get a window that looks like this. For some reason, I think some sort of security setting on the network changed. We can no longer find the Ultimakers on the network. So I click Add Non-Network Printer. The main ones we use are the Ultimaker 3, and then down here under Creality 3D, the Ender 5 and the Ender 5 Plus. The Ender 5 is the smaller one, the Ender 5 Plus is the bigger one. So I'm just going to pick one of the Ultimakers here. All right, the Ultimaker 3, because that's the one that's available right now. I'll hit add. You might have a pop-up if it's one of the purses. Just hit next, and it brings you here. All right, so once you get here, you've added the printer, you can open your file. So you click this folder up here in the top left corner, and navigate to your hanger. It's in your Inventors folder probably. All right, open it. I guess I didn't get it. There we go. And there it is. Now, you're going to want to rotate it, possibly, right? I think it comes in naturally. Often it comes in like flat on its side, right? And that's not a good way to print. And I'll show you why. If over here in the bottom right, if you hit slice, this will process your model into the print file. You can actually then look at the preview of it. When you look at the preview, it actually shows you. So a couple things with navigating that's useful here. If you hold down your middle mouse button, your scroll wheel, it lets you move the build plate around translationally. If you hold down your right mouse button, it rotates your view. So you can use the center and right mouse buttons to change your view, which is nice. Now, if you zoom way in here, it is actually going to show you every single layer it's going to print. And I can see actually this is on fine. You do not want to print on fine. So when you go to print settings up here, you hit a button that says custom, and then it'll bring up all these other options. I'm going to change it from fine to fast. When you make a change, you have to reslice it because the software has to reprocess the whole print job. Alright, so now I can see the layers a little bit better. Now, these layers for the pegs are going to be super weak. The pegs will want to break right off immediately. So you gotta, the sides will be strong, will be the strongest this way actually. The sides with this would be great, right? But the pegs will be weak. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to rotate this. Some people have tried printing the pegs separately and then sliding them in and gluing it together. I don't know. I don't know if that's a great idea. I think it's better to print them solid. I have done it that other way, and I don't know if it's actually been helpful. Some people are printing it like this, with the pocket for the hanger face down. Some people have been doing that. So right now my mass is estimated at being 33 grams. Right? So you can go and actually turn off the build plate adhesion, hit none, and it'll get a more accurate result because it's not going to add that material in there. So 35 grams still. So the brim that it was adding must have been less than a gram, so it didn't even affect the overall mass. So 35 grams is what I have here, which I already know there's someone in here who's got one that's 30 grams, and if they hold the whole bucket and I hold the whole bucket, they're automatically going to win. So maybe I want to go back to the drawing board a little bit here, or there's some settings to adjust. What you can do is you can adjust the wall line count down. You can make that 2. Top layers, 2. Bottom layers, 2. You can drop the infill down. I'll try 10%, and I'll slice it. And when you do that, look, I'm down to 27 grams. All right. Right? But look, you can look into your model now and see what it's going to look like. It's pretty hollow on the peg, so maybe that's not a great strategy. All right, maybe that's not a great strategy. Maybe I want to make the infill higher. So let's say if I go back up to 20% infill, but with 2 wall lines and I slice it, let's see what that gives me. 29 grams, only 2 more grams. But look, there's a lot more material in the pegs to make them stronger, so that might be worth it. So to get to this view, you got to hit the preview after you slice it, and this part's going to be up to you what you want to make the wall line count. Maybe somebody wants to try doing. Actually, Zach Mendesis, when he did it, he tried doing 1 with 0% infill. He made it super thin to try to literally. It was one layer thick with no infill. Right? It's only 13 grams, but it's probably not going to hold too much. You know, that was his ticket. 1, maybe if you add a little infill to that, so you can mess around with that. I'll let you do what you want to do there. Okay? I guess I got to come around and clean your computers and such. See that? Infill is there, only 1 layer thick, 24 grams. Maybe I want to try that. I don't know. That's going to be up to you. All right, well, there you go. That's how you get your mass estimated.